Hey family, so we're back with another wedding cake reading. Y'all really liked it, so we're running it back. Maybe it'll be a recurring series. We might do it monthly if it holds up and if it makes sense, right? So we are looking at who will you marry, when and how you'll meet your next spouse or step into that era, right? So I'm gonna hold the thumbnail up so that you can choose your wedding cakes. Pile number one is the classic red rose romance cake. Pile number two is the pink Rosy Future cake. Pile number three is the blue Diamond Elegance cake. And then pile number four is the Lush Royal Flourish cake. I'll give you a moment to make your selection. And if you need more time, go ahead and pause the video. Now that you've chosen your piles, we're going to take a moment so that you understand how I read, so that you don't have too much trouble as you're selecting your piles and once you get into those messages, okay? So for those of you that are new, I read and channel past, present, as well as incoming energy. I do read a polarity, which means there's a light as well as a shadow. You just have to find yourself in the lesson, in the journey. And if you're new, or if you've been here a while, you like the vibe, you like the readings, or if they're just helpful and resonate, whatever keeps you coming back, whatever has you feeling like you will come back, you will see more of that under the memberships in the Onyx Key. Join the crew as a member of the Onyx Key for exclusive members-only messages, redirections, and content. We already have a bunch of videos live with some familiar topics as well as new questions, so I'll see you on the other side of the Onyx Key. Make sure you hit the join button to go deeper down this experience with me. All right, pile number one, my classic red rose romance cake. We're going to take a look at who will you marry and when and how you'll meet your next spouse, okay? So let me get an overview. We're using a reduced number of decks today, so hopefully this deck gives us better identifiers so that we know what we're talking about. We're learning as we go. We're not learning as we go. I've been doing this too long to say something like that. I'm trying a new way of doing it so that I don't have to pull more cards. So I have the Sun, and I have Venus. Oh, you and this person are going to look really good together. It's a couple that looks good together. It's a couple that lives a life where other people on the outside looking in aspire to it, regardless of if it makes sense. So a good example of what I'm describing is, let's say y'all have like a super niche lifestyle, right? Like y'all have really specific hobbies, you and this partner of yours, and y'all live through that day to day. It could be completely random. Most people are not interested in it, but because people see how you two live through that, now other people have an interest in it. Not saying they're phony or like that they're followers, but you make it look so happy, so welcoming, so uplifting that now it's like people see the potential in it. You know, those hobbies that people think are weird until they see certain people doing them. And then it's like, oh, well, let me see. That's the kind of marriage you're going to have where you're doing those types of things. And people respond to y'all in that way. Okay. Making things look a lot better than they actually are. You're the couple. People would be shocked if you have disagreements, or because you'll look like the type of couple that never fights, which I'm not saying you won't. I'm saying you'll have a healthy enough relationship to where it won't be all of that chaotic energy that some couples have. Like, disagreements will happen, but I don't know that it will to the level of other couples or the average couple. I'll say it like that. Some of you are gonna marry or meet this person. So let me slow down. You're all at different stages. So some of you will meet this person, others of you will solidify the connection, and then the rest of you will actually get married during a Sun-Venus transit. Now, for those of you that don't speak astrology, it's basically when Venus is in the planet of is in the sign of your sun, or when the sun is in the sign of your Venus, okay? Which makes sense because those types of transits align with that type of energy, okay? So let me see where we're going here. Some of you very specifically, we're talking about when the sun, okay, hold on. Like I got all of the details. When the sun is in a Venus ruled sign, so during Libra season, during Taurus season may be relevant. And then you can also flip it when Venus is in Leo, could also be a thing. All right. Yeah. Wheel of Fortune. Those, everything that I just mapped out, everything that I just listed are very, very lucky transits in love for you. You'll notice an uptick in romantic options, opportunities, just in general during what I just referenced for you. Okay. When the sun is in the sign of your Venus, when Venus is in the sign of your sun, right? And then in general, and some of you, all of this, like some of you, I'm overlapping. Like I'm saying, when Venus is in the sign of your sun, you might be a Leo or something like that, because that's what, when Venus is in Leo, is one of the specific signs that I'm talking about. When the sun is in Libra or Taurus is what I'm talking about, okay? All right, so tell me more about the person. Person likes beautiful things. They like nice stuff, okay? I'm not saying that this partner of yours is going to be very vain, but there's nothing wrong with a little bit of vanity. And this person likes to look good. They like to feel good. They like to experience the world at whatever financial level they can reach. So like, I'll be very transparent in that this person will, I'm not saying this person will or won't work hard. I don't know what they'll do for work. It didn't come out. But whatever this person can afford, what this person will have access to. So if they work and they're able to afford nicer things, they will have nicer things, right? Like this isn't someone that will have extra money just for the sake of saving. This is someone that will definitely splurge and allow themselves the nice things that they want. So you got the Two of Swords here. Tell me more about I'm laughing because of what that Two of Swords represents. I'll take it, fine, whatever. This is someone you're probably gonna ignore at first, or act like you're not interested in them romantically at first. Like one or the other, or a combination of that energy. It's like, and it's not even, I'm not getting a vibe of disinterest, like genuine disinterest. It's more of a pretending the disinterest. I don't know the context. I don't know what it will be with you and this person you end up married to, but like there's this weird vibe of acting like you're not interested in this person, acting like you don't know they're interested in you, and all of the things. So the Five of Pentacles. And a maturing energy of Eight of Wands. I got a wave of not wanting to feel easy. It's not a gender thing. Like it feels like you're not really gonna be that interested in this person up front. Not because you're actually not, but because you don't want to seem easy. I get that vibe. It feels like wanting someone that's gonna actually apply effort because of the energy that hit the table describing the person. It feels like someone that's really attractive. They probably have nice things relative to their money, right? And so it does seem like the type of person that people just kind of flock to or just easily lean into. Like, I don't think this person has trouble getting people to flirt back with them or finding them attractive. So I don't know what it is about you and your personality. It doesn't feel toxic. It doesn't feel like you're trying to humble this person. It's just that I feel like when you meet this person, you'll be able to tell that they're used to having their way with people, and you're going to be like, not me. That's why I'm laughing, because I got a sharp personality on the table of like, yeah, that's cute. Not me, right? So, and honestly, it doesn't seem like it turns this person off at all. It feels like a breath of fresh air for them, in that they're intrigued by that. Like, because it's nothing crazy. Nobody's being dramatic or unnecessarily mean. It's just like, Yeah, I get that everyone flirts back with you, but I'm just not, that's not my vibe, and I'm not going to. So just calm down, right? Like that's what we have the star. I think the person you end up with is used to special treatment, used to being a special snowflake, just a little bit. Nothing wrong with that. I don't get negative vibes. If anything, the person's vibe feels very playful, very happy go lucky, very friendly, because they're so used to that. um but they are very used to having their way, I'll give you that. And I think some of you, that may be where you kind of contrast slightly, like especially those of you where you're not used to having your way. When someone that's used to be having that, when you feel that energy, it may throw you off. I don't know if it turns y'all off, but it just, I feel it throwing you off, and now this person has to kind of apply some extra effort. It's more like, I'm not moving for you, don't ask me to move. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, the polite thing, it would be to move, but I'm not moving because who moved for me? Like, I feel like some of y'all have that sharp vibe. It doesn't seem super aggressive, but it's on the table. So I'm gonna pull more. One thing about you two as a couple, you'll be very, very well liked socially. Like, if like whatever y'all do, whatever y'all go participate in, all of the things, you're very popular in your social circle. So good for you. Let me see more. Yeah, very talked about couple. Okay, so we got gossip, eavesdropping, and storytelling. Some of you, maybe that's the context of the pretending avoidance energy regarding this person, is maybe there is some gossip you hear, and that gives you like, it changes how you see this person or something like that. And so, because like there's a lot of popularity on the table, like when we talk about people just being well known, well respected, especially when we talk about people that are very gifted at their jobs and things like that. Like, when you're in communities and neighborhoods, people know each other, everyone knows each other in certain neighborhoods and things like that. So it just feels like this person is one of the more outside people, to where people know them enough to where they have a reputation that could be slightly gossipy. I don't see where people say really, really bad things about the person at all. I don't. Um, but there is some slight gossip. So let me see what else. Tell me more about pile one. Who's this? Okay, we got the Hermit. Okay, I've got androgyny, and then I have old school. Okay, look at you. And the sadness. Okay. Androgyny feels like blurred lines in this context. Now, obviously, if y'all know we're talking about the gender fluidity and things like that, then you're in your right place, right space. But generally, I get a strong blurred line of someone that is single and to themselves, and someone in a relationship. And here's the sadness stepping in because of the gossip. So I feel like it's this person, but it could be you because it's the polarity. But I'm going to leave with it being them just because it's easier for me to narrate that way. So one of you is on the table as someone that's very to yourself, right? They're to themselves. I don't know what they do when they're single. Whatever they do with their single, conversations, possibly gossip. Now, that does not mean that this person is promiscuous or any of the things. Some of you, yes. Others of you, because this is a person that's like always single, to themselves, possibly prioritizes work, and love is maybe not at the forefront, there's this whole question possibly of their sexuality, right? So like, people are either saying this person's for the streets, or people are questioning whether or not they're hiding their sexuality due to this single energy. I've gotten this before. Now, the thing about it is, where we're talking about the one that's like living their life in the fast lane because they're single, that's completely different from how they operate when they're stable and in a connection. The reason why this person's comfortable moving that way when I'm talking about that personality type is because they're single. They can do whatever they want. There's nothing to commit to. You see what I'm saying? So they might be a little frivolous out there if that's their comfort zone. The other polar opposite is so restricted, possibly celibate for like years and things like that, because they're not that, like, that's not their comfort zone to be out like that. So that's why they would have the gossip about whether they're hiding their sexuality, because when they lock in, they lock in. All in all, I love that regardless of which personality type you end up with, very traditionally monogamous person. Now, unless you don't want that in a marriage, but the average person seeking marriage is looking for that. So it's very difficult. And I see the hesitancy where we're talking about that polarity where the person's really for the streets because they're single. But it is like a switch. And I know sometimes we talk about habits are very difficult to break. But I've gotten this before. I feel like I've read it recently. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know who y'all be asking me about. Not that you can question, not that you can control this pile, because this is just what you're trending towards. But the person doesn't really lack discipline. Like, if they had to lock in and be celibate, they could, would, possibly did, will, due to the gossip. They just, there's no reason to be faithful to anybody. They're not in a relationship. So, like, if they slow their roll, it's because people are talking about them. Like, and I don't know. It's a really weird vibe. But the other side is just doesn't have much to say because there's so much mystery, because no one ever sees their partners, possibly because they don't have serious partners because they locked in too, right? So let me pull more. Let me see where we're going with this. Let's see. I feel like this is someone that you do meet in an unusual way when either you or them are moving around solo, okay? Just because of that. Yeah, choices and decisions to sit at the table. It says, it's time to decide what is the best solution. You can no longer prolong this anymore. The longer you wait, the more delays this may cause somewhere down the road. Okay. And we got romance. So romance is going to be a conscious choice. Okay? For you, this person, at the point that it happens. Like, I seldom get this, but maybe stepping into being attracted to someone isn't someone you were chasing, something you were chasing, but like, once you stumble upon the revelation of like you're interested in this person and you stop avoiding it, when you have a conscious choice, decision to pursue that, and that person does as well, that's when you have the revelation of like, okay, well, if I want romance in my life, if I want love and a relationship in my life, I have to make a conscious choice to lean in. So there's this nuance of you not chasing love when you meet this person, but once you kind of acknowledge this person, realizing that it is an opportunity for love and you have to go out of your way to keep it up. Okay? That's where we have this. So I've already given you transits. Let me pull from the tea leaves really quick. I'll do that because we don't have... because I have time. Yes, look at all of this happiness, and everything about the pile opening up is happiness. Now I'm not gonna lie, your happiness is gonna reveal a two-faced friend. I got that. I've been getting, because I've been filming a lot of these readings over the last few days because I'm trying to get to a good position. But you being happy with this person is gonna reveal a two-faced friend, especially if you keep picking the energy where that's coming through. Okay, we have an incoming energy of in need of help, assistance, and guidance. Okay. Keeping your life in balance, paying attention to your finances. Okay. Any of you, especially since I put that like that, any of you stepping into an era where you have a new job, where you're elevating financially, that's when you'll cross paths with this person. okay? Or acknowledge this person, because you all have different stories. Because keeping your life in balance, paying attention to your finances, feels like someone budgeting. It feels like someone stepping into an era where they're able to budget, right? Because Five of Pentacles is where you don't have anything to budget. Eight of Pentacles is where you're working good, you're seeing money, and you're making enough money to where you have extra to where you can prioritize everything you need, plan for some of the things you want, and then do with the rest for long term, right? That's where we are in this pile when you are ready at least to lean in. Some of you, it's when you meet them. Others of you, it's when you kind of acknowledge that you're looking long term for something healthy. But it'll be once you get that help, that assistance you need via a job, a better job, you learn finances, whatever the thing is, that's when you'll cross paths. So let me, because this pile actually does not want to give me specific transits. I mean, specific like times of year beyond where I already gave it at the beginning. Okay, there's something crazy happening on the table. So happiness is a thing when you reach your happy era. So you'll be happy. I don't know what's going on with you now, but maybe you're in a hermit mode. Maybe you're in the depression. Maybe you think you're in a lack situation. When things turn around, we did have the Wheel of Fortune at the beginning. This happiness energy is a dominant thing. So in this deck, we have astral houses. And when you pull one of those green cards, it basically, the way I read it, takes over your whole pile because it's a core theme. So your core theme here is happiness. So yes, you're going to be happy in love. But before you can be happy in love, you're going to figure out what you want and how to be happy as an individual. You'll start going out with friends if you've been inside a lot. But look at the flowers here. Happiness 2 times. You see what I'm saying? So you'll be happy as an individual. And here's the context and why they're not. This is why they're giving me all those random transits and overlays. Some of you will meet this person once this era happens and it's just smooth sailing from there. There are some of you where you meet this person and it's the avoidant energy because you are already in that lack, for whatever the context of the lack is. And you're not able to lean into this person. Now, me, as an esoteric person, I can already tell you it's a frequency misalignment. Based on the way I read this person and the hints I got of the way you would react to this person if you meet them and then down the line it ends up being a thing, it's a frequency misalignment because this is someone that things are very easy for. People like them a lot, right? It doesn't feel like someone that's had a lot of difficulties. Or maybe they're a maniac and it's, you know what I mean? They overcame in such a way that it's like it's serious. I'm using the maniac term in a very dramatic way, but like, you know what I mean? It takes a certain type of personality to be able to come from some of the darkest places and then be like this bright light. And I'm not judging anybody. I think that's amazing. I love it. But the average person that moves like the person I'm describing as your future spouse, they 9 times out of 10 just had a really good life. Things just work out for them. Not saying they haven't had any hardships, but when they look at their hardships compared to like people that actually struggle, they know, like, they have to know that you haven't been through anything. So when someone like that crosses paths with someone that actually has survived like a 5 of Pentacles, right? That has had to figure out the 8 of Pentacles, has had to learn how to like budget and things like that. Because I could even see some of you ending up with partners that never actually had to worry about money. That's never been a thing. Especially those of you that come from like poverty backgrounds. Like you end up with a person that, not saying they're super rich, but if someone's been middle class consistently for their whole life and you've not been that like consistently, that's still different. You know what I mean? So like some of you, that's the nuance. So when you're happy and feeling stable as yourself, then that's when you're fully able to commit with this person and build on it. Flowers implies that for my channel, that this person, if you are in an energy of like rejecting them and them having to work for it, they're more of an admirer at first. Okay. And then when you step into an area, maybe those herbal latte honey readings, because those are my tea readings, because it's what people think about you, those may give you more context of like stepping into love and all the things like that, okay? But you're going to be more social in general, whether you're out social by yourself, whether you're out social with friends. And this brings me back to the point I was making. Some of you, that disinterested era gives you multiple times of interacting with this person before you actually connect with them enough to at least be friends. So I feel like you'll see this person at least once moving around socially by yourself. You'll see this person at least once when you're hanging out with your friends or them theirs. And that building of familiarity helps make you more receptive to what you consider to be a risk. Because the gossip card makes me feel like this Two of Swords is more of a perceived risk, especially for somebody that's familiar with the Five of Pentacles. People familiar with the Five of Pentacles not ever trying to go back to that in any context, whether financial, whether romantic loss, any of the things, right? Okay, so let me see. I'm going to get you some advice and close you out. There we go. Strength and motion, power, movement, and confidence. It says, hey, I'm saying moving around by yourself, moving around by friends. Like I mentioned, that Sun, Venus energy and the star, same vibe. It says, move like you belong in every space you enter. It says your confidence is currency in the realm of abundance. That's you. That's what you need to do. That's how you're going to connect with your spouse. And it says sea of emotion, endurance, healing, and navigation. Don't fear the waves. They're clearing space. Let your feelings move through so wealth can move in. You're going to be fine. Those of you that need me to tell you that, those of you that are actually in need of assistance, help, that is coming in. And it was very clear in your reading. I know that's not the context of today's file. If you're struggling, like in a financial sense, that's going to come first. Okay, that's the first priority, because y'all know when we talk about the needs and things like that, like we talk about levels to this, like you get what you need before you get what you want, right? Because your wants mean nothing if you don't have a foundation. So that's going to come in. I promise, I see it. The way it's going to come in, your confidence, you're tightening up, right? Being organized, being structured with the things that you can control, and being very personable and things like that, because it's saying move like you belong in every space. And it talks about confidence as your currency at where you're seeking abundance. And it also tells you to be to endure, right? It says don't be afraid. And it talks about allowing yourself to be who you are naturally, okay? Now, once you reach that, this is me moving you from where you are now to where you want to be romantically. Once you establish the stability I'm telling you to do, okay, go to the career readings. We have a bunch up in the public playlist for the Mercury Money Magic. You can go there. Once you stabilize there, move around, go out and be social, whether by yourself, whether with friends. Look good, feel good, be happy. Your partner is going to naturally, organically align with you as you're doing those things. I say it a lot and it sounds like common sense, but this group, it feels far in your mind. I can tell it feels further off than it actually is, because yeah, I'm saying it's common sense. It's common sense for a normal person that's already stable enough to go out and do those things. If you're not in a position to go out and do those things, I'm making sure you know, establish that foundation and then start moving around and doing those things. And I promise you, you're going to come back and be like, Onyx knows what she's talking about, because I do, okay? So I did forget to let you know before I let you go, pile number one. And you know, I said before I let you go, I never use that phrasing. So like that might be like the song, you know, it's a popular song. It's a classic. And like your cake, which my point is, this is a pile that the whole the whole connection, the courtship, the marriage is very traditional, right? It's very vintage. It's very like the cake you chose. So like if y'all, those of y'all that want the context of like what a wedding would look like, this is absolutely a group that gets married and has a formal traditional like ceremony, right? Maybe before I let you go, please, and all the things like that. But it is that context, and I didn't want to forget and rush out off the table before saying it, okay? And yes, I am back again for pile one because I did rush out off my table. Not my bad, your bad, right? Because I'm trying to like stay on a timeline, but the thing about this group, before I cleanse you off my table completely, is I forgot to say some things because the energy is just so slow. And I know it's because of how you end up with this person. It's slow. Like a lot of you are guarded. You're not really receptive. You're especially not receptive to this person, especially if they're a ball of fun, which some of you may have an aversion to due to trauma, or if they're just a ball of like personable energy and you're just not used to that. So I was supposed to tell you, and what I might do if I remember is I'll put the little clip up of what your pile looked like before I mostly washed it away. In your advice section, I was supposed to send you to the Passion Place readings. There's at least one public one because one of your core, and I wonder if it's still here. Like something told me to just pick up. Yeah, something told me to just pick up this deck I'm not using in Safe Place. And I was like, dang, I actually forgot to tell them that. So go somewhere where you feel safe, feel comfortable, where it's fun, where it's like a good time for you. Because some of you maybe are not that social, or you are, but you only like certain things. Like whatever the nuance as to what you need to be social, do that, right? Whether it's by yourself, with friends, like y'all need to do that. Because that's going to be the environment you meet your spouse in, is feeling comfortable, having a good time somewhere, somehow. And if you don't have any places like that, you're going to have to go out and explore those, because that's the trajectory to your spouse. You see what I'm saying? All right. And then when y'all go, don't act funny, be nice. Because I was supposed to tell y'all that as well. And the reason why I'm still here, and I know what's upsetting me, is that this is now a 30-minute pile. I remember at least a year back, pile one was a really slow, draggy pile. Not because the energy was channeling slow, but because I don't know if it was just that many messages or that many specifics, but pile one would always be like super long. And if you go back and look at some of the timestamps, you'll see like there are instances where pile one was like a whole hour long and the rest of each pile was like 15 minutes because of whatever pile one and the people primarily selecting in that position are going through, or whatever, why. And I'm glad y'all are getting your messages here. I won't complain too much beyond me trying to stay on a specific timeline and schedule. But if you used to watch the channel and now you're back, or you've been consistently watching the channel and now things are shifting for you in a way that are slowing you down or making you unsure, there's a lot of lack of clarity, and you're the type of person that doesn't thrive well in ambiguity, I noticed that. I want you to know this is confirmation you're in your right place, right space. You did choose your right pile, because the ambiguity is throwing you off and it's making my readings longer when you're in eras like that, okay? So let me know in the comments if that's you. But I did want to come back and say, like, when y'all are in ambiguity, it makes your piles longer. And I don't know why. So y'all let me know what your theories are, okay? So I'm genuinely going to close you out and move along to pile number 2. All right, pile number 2, my pink Rosy Future cake. I wanted to say cupcake. So some of you are going to go and see something. There's some context regarding what this person tells their friends about you. Whether by the end of your reading, if you know what I'm talking about, or if you're already married and you're just here for the nuance of like having fun, there's conversations with the friends that are relevant to identifying who you'll marry, the when and how. Okay, so we're going to see what that is in a second. I'm not going to let this pile slow me down. So incoming energy of the North Node, destined to have. So yeah, it's going to be one of those woo-woo, destiny, fated feeling piles and encounters of how you meet this person to begin with, okay? And maybe that's what they're telling their friends. Like, right, not saying real time for those of you that are super single. I'm saying when you meet this person, they're going to run and tell their friends they met somebody like you. They're going to run and tell their friends all about it because it's that energy, right? North Node is when we meet people that trigger our soul growth. They align with where we're going and who we're becoming. And it may be a little bit uncomfortable, but it's a healthy kind of discomfort of like, this is where I'm evolving as a person versus being stuck and stagnant, right? So at the bottom, I've got house 10. Something about the way you and this person connect. You're either going to connect in a situation or setting where this person's really ascending in their life path and their life path is in alignment with their career, or that will be you. And it can be both. You can both be trending toward who you're supposed to be becoming, in alignment with your career and your personal and your public reputation and things like that, okay? Someone's house 10, the North Node may be transiting when y'all meet. That's not for everybody, but one of you may have the North Node transiting your 10th house, okay? When you first cross paths or when you finally tie the knot. But all in all, North Node and house 10, huge deal. It's people, like this is someone that's going to immediately feel like you're complimentary to how they want to be perceived by the world, who they want to become, and the things they want to do. That's how much of a match this person's going to see you as immediately. Let me see what this random card is that's like throwing itself out. 5 of Swords, really competitive energy. Maybe there's competition, okay? And when I say competition, because 5s of shifts, they're change, right? They're busy, right? That's why here it's quite literally a fight battle. The 5 of Swords is where we are in a position of self-sabotage. I know a lot of people don't read it that way, but I do, because it's a lose-lose situation. And even in the best of circumstances, you still lose something. So let's say the best of circumstances, okay? 5 of Swords there would be having to go to war with people you don't want to go to war with. And at the end, you're alienated, like whether it's friends, family, whatever the context. Now you've burned bridges with people that you didn't really want to. But in your defense, you had to set the boundary because you had to choose yourself. Like it didn't benefit you to be in a position you were in. And the only way to save yourself is to basically set the boundary with people that may be taking advantage and things like that. Like that's best case scenario, is that you're burning a bridge that needed to be burned because it was one-sided. But still, how do people feel at the end of that? That's why I say even in the best ways, it doesn't feel good. In the worst ways, it's cutting off your nose to spite your face, right? So I'm not going to keep it because it wasn't a technical pull. It just kind of jumped off the top of the deck when I grabbed this. But what I will do is I want y'all to remember that. I may remember that, and we'll see why that matters. Some of you, that boundary I just described is what you will have set when you end up with this person, meet this person, however that means, okay? All right. I have the 9 of Cups as well as the 6 of Swords. We have someone that's prioritizing themselves in their selfish era, quote unquote, but really it's self-care if you're stepping out of what I described. And then the 6 of Swords talks about evolving as a person. It absolutely is North Node with house 10 energy. So you'll be at your best when you get married. Like when you get married, like those of you that have like counselors, therapists, spiritual advisors, they will be ready to go with you saying you're getting married in the era where you will, because I'm not saying people need to be perfect. I'm not saying you can't be a work in progress when you merge with somebody else, but you will truly be at the healthiest space as an individual you can. You'll be feeling so good as an individual, and the best part about it is You'll be in your best era to date. So basically, whenever that happens, counting all of your past, you'll be as enriched as you can be. But even still, you'll have so much potential to grow as a person. And it looks like when you cross that threshold of your spouse, whoever this is, y'all are going to really go above and beyond together in whatever context that matters. Now, I have House 10, which talks about career and public recognition, right? So this talks about your successes and your accolades, right? I got a King of Cups that's very proud. Got a house. I got a 10 of Pentacles, which talks about a family, right? This is the legacy card. This is the family card. This is a card that would actually be a big wedding. So I'll say that. And it makes sense because North Node, House 10 would be a couple where it would be people getting mad if y'all didn't have a wedding. I'll be very, very honest. Like, this is like whoever you marry, I don't know what your life is like with your family. Between the two of you, people would get mad if you didn't have an actual wedding. Okay. Now, I'm not saying you care what people think, but I'm saying this is the context of like it needing to be a thing. Some of you, that 5 of Swords was because y'all are eloping and people are mad. You see what I'm saying? So it matters. 6 of Wands is that recognition. Ooh, it's so public. It's so outside. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not a negative. Temperance is very easygoing energy, but it's so outside. I don't know what House 3 and 4 will say, but if you're only picking House 2, I could see this being the biggest wedding of all of the readings I've done like this. Not even just in this reading, but like by nature of how loud it is, because this actually feels like a couple where it's not even like, I know how traditional weddings happen, and it makes a lot of sense in some of those countries where weddings are a huge deal. But even if you're not in a space where that's a thing, even though I see all of them in there, right? Like all of the foreign weddings, it's an event. Like I could see a lot of people shipping in because they want this wedding. This wedding is not the type of wedding where it's just immediate family, best friend. This is like a more of a community thing. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a specific religious home that this one happens, or like a venue that's very meaningful culturally that it happens, because we have here people from like the religious home, people that are part of community. We have people that are part of like the House 10 themes. So like people that are part of your career, people that are part of like your major social circle. Like this is that kind of wedding where it matters. Like this would be the couple where y'all parents are trying to like bring their random business partners that you don't really know like that to the wedding. You see what I'm saying? Like that's this wedding. It's that loud. It's that public. It feels like a success across families, if I'm being honest. Like it feels like people that are just very happy, very proud to be like having a wedding. Okay. These are definitely wedding people. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that at all, but it's just loud. We have the tough conversations. I think y'all 5 of Swords is y'all not wanting all that. I don't know what to tell you, but some of you not wanting all of that, whether it's you, whether it's the partner. And it's very loud here that that's a desire. So I do see with the Temperance that there is a healthy balance. I know that I've gotten piles where people elope and don't tell anybody, and then they come back and do the party for other people. That's a nice compromise. It just feels like not drama, but it is a question of like, no, we having this big wedding, right? So tell me more about this pink Rosy Future cake. Fantasy. No, why would you call me a lie? Look at this deck. Calling me a lie. Well, it's some people having some outlandish things that they're wanting to see, and it creating confusion for a couple that really is just like they're wanting love. I think so. Here's the thing about this. I'm about to put all that back and start over with this deck because I do not want the actual ceremony to take over the reading in the way that it absolutely did. Like we started talking about you being like feeling really good, because here's the thing. The era of life you'll be in where you either meet this partner right? Well, you have to be in that era when you meet this partner, because I don't see this being a couple that takes a long time to get married. And long is relative to what you're doing, but it doesn't feel long in the context of like the community or anything like that. But you'll be the best version of you, which means you'll be able to attract the best available partner to you. Okay. So, and not because it benefits you as an individual, but because everyone on the table is happy, because you attracting the best partner available to you is you being the best available partner to whoever else as well, which is why everybody's so excited. They're like, oh, look, these two. So confusion and ceremony aside, I need to see who and where and how and all of the things. It might be career related, like you may meet, but even if it's not directly associated with your career or their career, there's gonna be some type of tie like that via the community. So like maybe one of your friends, coworkers, something like that, okay, where you don't know them via their career or them through yours. Because I'm also not getting where you're in the same career path. If I'm being honest, I'm not saying that just to say that. I get a wave of two people whose careers and lifestyles are more complementary than exact. You see what I'm saying? So that's what's really on the table. Like, I don't know that I don't think that that's the thing. Okay, so I got choices and decisions, which came out in a different pile, and that's more here. It's the arguments about this ceremony. What is going on? We don't have time for this. Yeah, it's killing the vibe. It's killing the vibe. It's killing the romance. It's taking away from the peace of mind, which is at the bottom. So let's go. I may actually leave this. I did not mean to strike that in y'all's ear. I was clearing the energy off the table because prepare to have to set boundaries. The boundaries are going to have to be set with family members, community members, friends, whoever is being like really bossy, trying to dominate the table like that. Because it's so like think of it this way. We're trying to see who you're going to marry, when and how. And I'm keep getting everything about the ceremony and arguments about the ceremony. So let me do this. I'm going to get the tea leaves. Got a fair woman, dealings or relationship with a woman with blonde, gray, or white hair. Now, some of you, maybe that's just the maternal figure, okay? That could be the bossy maternal figure, because it doesn't have to be like a... So when that card hits, I'm trying to say it in a way that makes sense. Anytime y'all see like the fair woman, fair man card, that's relative. So like this would be relative to y'all, right? So I don't know who that is. I feel like that's either who is coming in as a partner for those of you that would align with, or this is who introduces you and this person. Okay, so let me see. It's incoming. I don't know who that is. We're gonna try to see more about who that is. Tell me more about like how to. Okay, and it's incoming as well. So this is all incoming. Okay, we got a fair woman, we got a dark woman, everybody's on the table. So I have a journey, physical or mental. So I got a carriage, I got a fair woman driving, traveling. Okay. And like I said, this could be hair color, complexion relative to other people. There's some situation about a fairer, like a lighter tone woman, whether hair, complexion, journeying somewhere. Okay. And we have a darker woman there with her hair, complexion, whatever the things are. I don't know what's going on. Let me see what else comes out of the deck. Because who are these people? Who you marry? Okay. Money. Throne. Ooh, money and throne. Shout out to y'all. I mean, I have more decks and we will pull from them because what is happening on the table? So I got this fair woman carriaging in. I got the dolphin of financial gain, right? Usually coming from something you did in the past, and wealth. Okay. Let me sit with it. Okay, so the really interesting thing is all of the random sequences. So for my feminine audience, okay, some of you will meet your part where, okay, because too many people that could be relative to. So my feminines, you gotta figure out which one of these you are. Okay. Okay, so where you feel like you are a lighter haired complexion feminine, you will step into a situation, right? It's going to be very lucrative for you. You're going to step into maybe an authority position at work and things like that as someone deeper in hair tone or complexion transitions out. Everything looks good. Everybody's doing good. It's successes for everybody. But that's the transition, is the fairer woman comes in, right? When a deeper complexioned or haired one transitions out for the best. It looks like here, this person has something good going on. Now, where this is you, where we're talking about you have the darker hair, darker complexion. A new feminine coming in of lighter complexion than you, lighter hair tone than you, coming in either as an authority figure or bestowing you into a throne of authority. That's where you're gonna meet this person. I figured it out. It was a lot, but I combed through it. Play it again if you need to hear. Okay. But I like it. It's very, very specific. Okay. And I always say find yourself in a lesson and journey. It's more masculines on a channel now. So one of these will likely be your future spouse, where we're talking about masculines looking for feminines. And the who is going to require nuance regarding your specific situation, circumstance. Okay. Because some of you, your future spouse is this deeper hair complexion or complexions feminine that you cross paths with as this happens in your professional life. Like we have a lighter feminine that comes in and does a lot of great things and things like that. You end up in a position of authority. Maybe you get promoted. Others of you, we have a fair skinned feminine coming in as a deeper complexion one transitions out. Oh, wait, hold on. I know what I'm talking about, and I know it sounds like I'm unsure. It's not that I'm unsure. There was context clarifying mid-channel. So some of you, I mean, this could be anybody. And there's so many people on the table with the 10 of Pentacles in the context of how you're meeting this person. You're definitely going to meet this person community associated, like outside somewhere. This is not no random person you're meeting on an app or something. It's too many people that matter enough to hit the table. Okay, so for a lot of you here, regardless of if one of these people is you or if one of these people represents the partner, it doesn't matter. Beyond at work, your business, something, we got a fairer woman transitioning in. Okay, maybe she get paid a lot of money, maybe she's gonna pay you a lot of money, but we have a position of authority. So either she's the authority figure or she's making you one in some way, following a darker haired or complexion feminine. So somebody leaving out and somebody else coming in. And this is a very successful career thing. And that's why it was throwing me off, because yes, the context I gave matters and can apply for at least half of you, but this career thing feels more general than even that, of like someone coming in like this, it's affecting your career, you're getting paid a lot of money, and as this person's moving around and things like that. Okay? Like seeing this transition is the environment or maybe even the situation surrounding the timeline. Because I was looking for timelines and I didn't get it yet. So I'm glad that came through. Tell me more. The crazy part is tough conversations is here. T's were already screaming at me, but I ignored them because I was trying to like not lose my train of thought. Like when I kept seeing a 10 of Pentacles, so maybe the number 10 is a thing. Okay. But like when Throne hit, I was like, okay, cool. And now tough conversations is here. And I'm like, okay, cool. So there's gonna be a tough conversation that lets you know that something is not a dead end. It does not feel romantic because it jumped out before I could stabilize into the deck I'm using. So there's something that's not a dead end, and a tough conversation will be able to resolve it. It feels like because a dominant theme is your North Node, like who you're meant to become, along with your house 10, which is your career and reputation house. Maybe that's why it's like that. Because this is definitely could be something that happened with associated with y'all's career, or I'm predicting this will happen. And like this is part of that era where you meet your spouse or get married, you have a ghosting of someone, okay, and old feelings. So we have possibly a ghosting of a darker feminine, whether that's the person that did or someone doing that to, or like this person doing it to that person. The reason why it matters, what are we doing here? What is all of this drama in the table? Okay. It's a journey. North Node is a journey, but man, it's a journey. Why are we doing all of this? So we have a ghosting due to old feelings. Like we have someone having old feelings. Now, ghosting did hit this darker woman card, okay? So like some old feelings associated with the darker woman in a ghosting situation. I don't know whether it's a ghosting of like just haven't seen anybody in a while, if I dilute it, or like there's a situation where like there's a very specific ghosting situation that's of relevance, but feelings linger. I don't know what that is. And that being kind of the price of love. Maybe that's the 5 of Swords, cutting off the nose to spite the face. Maybe that's what it is. Let me pull, because this deck is not giving me what I really wanted to, if I'm being honest. Not because I'm trying to control y'all's table, but because I don't want to go into every nuance, every piece of drama this couple faces. Yeah, I got a friends with benefit situation and mirrored souls. Make sure. Ooh, that irks me that came through. I hate that I have to read this. I'm putting this back in a second, and then I'm going to jump to Melanin Pop, then come back to that. This is a pile. There's a very real reason. I don't control the energy aligned with where y'all are trajected. And y'all, sometimes y'all get mad at me and be like, you can't put that on me. Don't speak that into existence. I'm not. I read the energy that comes through the thing. I would love to read everything completely positive all the time, but that's not real life. So the reason why the wedding was a huge focal point because of the split, that is the shadow, to bring my attention to the fact that something not right? Like it was to alarm me as the reader. The shadow of this group. The reason why I emphasize being in alignment with your North Node, being in alignment, and your North Node being in alignment with your career, a lot of you have very specific journeys, okay? Like when we talk about quote unquote doing life right and not deviating off your path. A lot of you have career paths, and this is not for everyone. Everyone does not have this, but your career, your reputation is supposed to thrive as a result of leaning into your North Node. Some people work and then go out and do the thing that's in alignment with what they're supposed to be, right? Like some people have a really good job and then their actual path is the community work they do and things like that. Not you. You are supposed to rise in rank professionally or with a business via your North Node and the destiny that is yours and who you're supposed to be. If you misalign with that, you're going to marry a karmic. I don't want to tell you that you are outright going to do that. I'm giving you the criteria for how that happens. Misaligning with who you're meant to be and your authenticity and the career that aligns with who you actually are. And I'm not saying quit your job or nothing crazy like that. I'm not saying that at all. Do not do that. What I'm saying is there's something you're supposed to be doing, that you're supposed to be in natural alignment a lot, like with your skills. Okay. And if you don't feel like you're doing that, you know you're not doing that because you would already know, like this is a group where it's your North Node and your career trajectory is so closely aligned that there's no way you don't know what that is, even if you're having difficulty getting it off the ground or getting the role or whatever the thing is. As you do what you're supposed to do in aligning that, you meet the actual soulmate that you marry in a healthy way. Because there is a karmic energy here where it's very surface level. You end up with somebody and it's more like it feels like a family more excited about the party than the couple. That's why it was alarming for me. And I didn't say it because I didn't think that far through it. But like, you have to be careful because what I have on my table for that drama and the drama that keeps hitting my table and old feelings keeps hitting my table and the mirrored souls is here is you end up with someone that basically is with you because it makes sense for their life path, makes sense for their like their career and reputation, makes them look good versus what they actually want. Because especially if you're one of these, okay, I'm not like, y'all know I don't have a dog in this fight. I really don't have the full context. Someone coming in after someone elevates away feels like someone left settling. Okay? It feels like someone marrying somebody because they're available to them and now outranking them, not outshining them. Okay? That's not, you don't want that. Okay? And it becomes a karmic lesson because the person ending up marrying someone that they feel like they're settling for is only doing it because the quote unquote one that got away ascended. And you see how karmic it is if you end up being the one quote unquote settled. And that's not a question of your worth and your value. It's more the frequency you're aligned with, because when you're not stepping into your true power and authority in yourself, someone that is running from someone that is in their true power, authority, and sense of self would absolutely grab you. You see what I'm saying? Because it feels like whoever moving, like where we're talking about old feelings and the ghosting energy that hit in the mirrored souls, it feels like someone constantly yearning for someone that they cannot have, and knowing that they will never get over it. So we have something over here or over here that looks really good, that's close enough, and they go for it because it makes sense, versus still having it at the back of their mind, they're looking for that. So I don't want that karmic energy for any of you. I do not support that. Okay, that is the shadow. The crazy part about it is, even the shadow, it doesn't look unhappy. The only people that would be unhappy are those of you that like, where you kind of know, you can tell. But I'm glad this came through. It keeps me honest as a reader. It is not the dominant energy. It is not the dominant energy. It's not even the loudest energy on the table. I had an alarm as the channel because I wouldn't have caught it if it wasn't an alarm on me as a channel, because I'm not looking for that today. So know that if this is aligning with you in any way, it came through loud enough for me to make sure that I gave it to you. That's how important it is. Now, I'm about to be able to move on to the people that are meeting their spouse and things like that, where it's not all of the drama and the confusion, right? Because what happens here is, I can already see the lighter side here is two people focused on their journey, their destiny, as they're supposed to. and then connecting in a way that makes sense. Okay? If anything, if it's a little bit longer of a journey, it's somebody where there was possibly mutual interest in historically, and then connecting and exploring it. I see that. Yeah, I've got hanging out. But I'm going to move this deck because it's just not doing what I needed to do. And then I'll pull from Melanin Pop and see if I can find out more about who, the where, and all of the things. So tell me more about how to. I mean, look, I can't. What I'm supposed to do. Yeah. Beware of someone that moves very quickly with you or moves on very quickly from someone else. I can't take the karmic energy off the table. Okay? I mean, I can and I'm about to, but that's like the warning for those of you that are trending towards the karmic side. Whether you're already in it or you're trending in that direction. Tell me more. Let's, if it keeps doing a thing, I will pause and adjust for this, okay? Where are we going for my pink Rosy Future cake? Got a walking away, spicing things up. Walking away. Oh, this is a community pile for real. I said it, but like I didn't realize it was like that. All of you have a role here. Any of you walking away from something, I think we have friends with benefits. I think whatever, you walking away from karmic energy is where you end up. You know, I think I had like the divorce card. Oh, this is the divorce card. Look at me. Some of you are gonna, okay, this is gonna be a second spouse. You're gonna have a second spouse or someone following a long-term connection. You'll meet that partner. So like, all is not lost for those of you in a karmic situation. You end up getting away from that. If that ends up being your path, or even if you're in it now, some of you are like, yes, that's me. Tell me where I'm going now. You out of it or you're stepping out of it, you'll meet your partner following it, okay? But it still feels too new, or you dwelling on it because it still feels new, which is why I'm reading it as incoming energy for some of you, most of you, on that side of the pile, okay? That said, whether following that breakup, following that divorce, if that karmic leaves you, like if it's a third party situation, I'm seeing that. Okay? Like if you're anyone, any variation of the story, like if you step into the karmic connection, once you leave it alone, right? If that person leaves you alone, steps into a karmic connection, or you leave that person alone and you immediately step into a karmic connection, that's when you're going to quickly meet your person and it's going to like expedite. I hope that's clear. Okay? Like it's going to expedite. Like whoever is available following any of the random drama that hit the table immediately meets the next partner. All right, so let me see more. We're gonna see more. Then I'm gonna try to get this deck to be nice to us. So here's the thing. Okay, fine. I can't control that. We'll leave it out. The thing about it is, I don't think this blue deck wants to be on the table. I don't think this pile wants a blue deck. How dare you? I chose this deck as part of the structure today. So I guess, here you go. I have complacent, rule follower, indifference, ego, and stickler. Okay. Switching up your routine is how you'll meet this person. Notice I mentioned a lot of transition. You're going to meet this person when you're in transition. And it's not necessarily a bad transition. Even if some of you, the transition is you figuring things out, whether it's following the karmic connection, whether it is a long-term relationship, whether it is a marriage, whether it's just briefly dating, whether you're this and you step out from that, whatever context, it feels like stepping out of a really complacent energy, walking away from that rule following stickler energy, and becoming more passionate about life and things that you want to do. Because this is the new things card. It's like somebody that's like going out more. It's someone that's having a lot of fun, just enjoyment. So let me see, because I don't know why this pile ended up being like this. Even though it's not bad, it just feels like the journey to love is a journey to love for y'all. Literally, you have the Six of Swords. And look, I can't control the table. The red flags are still there, okay? The red flags are still there. The addiction is here. I can't control that, okay? So what I'll say is this. It feels like a lot of you are in a growth era of you need to be, there's a very specific version of you that you need to be before you're ready to even cross paths with your spouse. And some of you are going to have to go through a karmic to get there. Okay? Some of you have already gone through that karmic to get there. Okay? In stepping out of that, it feels like a person that's a lot more free, a lot more successful as a result. Like looking back, it's like, man, I'm glad I dodged that karmic or left that karmic alone, because whatever leaving the karmic alone or the karmic leaving you alone did or will do following the growth you needed to be the version of you alignment with your spouse is putting you on the north node to your actual like destiny, career, and who you're meant to be. Like this is a group really successful, okay? But the path to the success is contingent on the development, okay? So where are we going with this? Tell me more about who. Patience. Yep. And this partner is going to be patient. And it will take patience to get there, if I'm being honest, because it's just, this is something, okay? Tell me more. We got the sweet song and control issues. Okay. The control issues is here. Be careful. The lighter side, I don't know why it's this whole cinematic thing, okay? And I'm trying to wrap this up, get your advice, and leave it alone. But for the lighter side, it looks like you'll meet your partner where you're elevating in your career, because it feels like that's how you'll have access, proximity to your partner, like to your future spouse, because this person's really well, really successful, okay, in whatever it is they do. Like this is a person that is thriving, and the only person that would be able to connect with the person that's thriving at the level of your future spouse is someone else that's also thriving, or at least glowing. You see what I'm saying? Like this person's doing well. And so if you weren't doing, you would never cross paths with this person. You see what I'm saying? If you weren't getting to this Nine of Cups. And the Nine of Cups is very single, very available, no situationships or anything like that. The reason why that matters is because the lighter side is evolving, growing, stepping into your path, doing work that aligns with your core values, your core authenticity, like who you actually are. And everybody's not going to have their dream job. I'm not saying all of you on the lighter side are going to have your dream job. I'm saying the job will align with who you are. Like you look like the job, you feel like the job, it makes sense. It doesn't, you don't have to take it away from your identity. You don't have to be a person that clocks in, clocks out, goes home, because the work will at least connect with you in a way where you care about it. You see what I'm saying? So, and it'll have you stable enough at least to look and feel like a person that's doing well. That's how you meet this person, okay? The reason why you as the lighter side is in the pile with the heavy karmic energy is because It feels like this pile on the lighter side, maybe that's the past. Maybe that's what you deviate from. Okay? And because this is a community pile, I heard some of you on the lighter side, especially where we talk about, this is dominantly feminine pile, right? So if you're masculine choosing this, find yourself where it resonates for you, because this is a feminine pile. And I guess, I don't know if it's because it's pink, but it is, okay? Because that's how the people came out. So, because the narrative I have is the karmic side of the karmic marriage that occurs does so in relation to the lighter's success or marriage itself. Like everything on the karmic side happens due to people that would fall in the lighter side of the pile. So some of you on the lighter side will hear the karmic side and be like, that sounds familiar. Why would all of that have anything to do with me? Because it's all like it feels like a karmic soul tribe of like everyone's connected for soul growth and ascension to your path. So it's like some of the feminines on the karmic side of the pile are going to realize they're in a karmic scenario due to the lighter side of the pile. I hope that makes sense. So that, I hate that this is small. The example, the best way to describe this is, remember earlier where I mentioned the settling on the karmic side? It feels like realizing that someone settled on the karmic side and settling in association with the lighter side. So the lighter side kind of goes off and does what they want and ends up in something else. And then either the karmic side gets married because the lighter side got married, and because what we kept getting the old feelings. So like the karmic side realizes that the lighter side is getting married and hurries up and tries to get married or start being with someone. And then the person being settled for kind of finds out at some point, because their journey is also to the lighter side, because it's a cycle. It's like the circle of life on the Lion King. If that is confusing, I'm sorry. I'm just the channel, and I didn't think this was going to be this kind of reading today. I thought I was going to be able to just boom, boom, knock this out and move on to other readings so that I could get a little ahead on our schedule. But I'll even pull from this just to give you a little more context. It's an upright card, Divergent Dreams. Okay? Because that is the karmic side. Because the lighter side is the north nodes align. Like these are two people that align. It works really well. It's probably confusion with the wedding still, because they want to elope, because it's loud around them, so they want to elope and have a quiet thing. And the people that love them want something big, because they are like a match made in heaven. Like there's probably a carriage, or probably a beach. It probably costs a lot of money. It's a lot of people there. Like it's a big, like there's not much to talk about on the lighter side because of how great it is. It's like a fairy tale. I think I had the fantasy card earlier. But the most to talk about is your spirit team wanting you to dodge that karmic, if this is you, or wanting you to get like spend as little time with the karmic as possible if that's your path. Because the beauty about the karmic is it puts you on path to who you're becoming. And then maybe your second marriage or the broken engagement, you end up married for real. You get what I'm saying? Whatever happens there where you're not on the lighter side yet, you still get there. It just takes some development, some growth. And for whatever reason, the feminine selecting this pile, there's like a karmic connection with the feminine, whether you know them or not, because someone here, the shadow ends up where the lighter side kind of propels them into a situation where someone settles for them. So let me grab what hit the floor. And the card that hit the floor makes me even less optimistic about the shadow. Not that it won't end up fine, but just some of you, I mean, if you feel like you're on the shadow and you're not in alignment with who you're supposed to be, you're overly assimilating in your life, you're settling for partners yourself, you're just taking whoever looks good on paper, you're not really looking to see who you're interested in for real, or leaning into people you're interested in for real, this is how you end up in the shadow, because it's very superficial, okay? Because the pursuit happens regarding divergent dreams, okay? For better, for worse. On the lighter side, we have someone that starts pursuing their passions, their dreams, due to the fact that they realize the places, spaces, relationships they're in currently are misaligned. You see what I'm saying? That's what the lighter side is doing, or did, or will do when they realize. The shadow is because of the divergent dreams, because of someone else not settling in life, someone else ending up with a partner that settles for them, because there's that heavy one that got away vibe, and the settling is a karmic lesson for the one that gets settled for, because it's more of a, why are you letting this person settle for you? Why are you settling for someone that's settling for you? Because you think it looks good. That's what I don't want y'all to do. So, all right. Let me get you off my table. What advice do I have for pile 2? Dress to dazzle. Make sure you look good. That was a theme. Look good, feel good everywhere you go. The forbidden sweetness is maturing. We got a sacred masculine here. Oh, that's where y'all fall. Okay, those of you that are in the masculine side, where like you're looking for how you're going to end up, nobody get mad at me, but y'all know socially, we're socialized very different. We move very different. When it comes to like initiation of marriage and things like that, you know, in most cultures, it is the masculine that does so. So the masculine selecting this pile, don't do what I'm talking about. Don't do that. It's gonna throw you off. It's gonna throw the feminine off. The other feminine that already moved on or is moving on. Like, it's not gonna throw off the other feminine. You can't spite the other feminine. It's just this kind of, if that's you as the masculine, don't do it. It's literally here. Don't do it. Okay, it's not good. It's not gonna benefit anybody. If anything, I feel like the one stagnant party on the table as a result of this energy is the masculine. And y'all know I'm not saying that to like come at the masculines crazy. It's just that I got one feminine, I got another feminine, and the masculine hit at the end. And it's more like, don't try to outshine something that you want and can't have. Focus on you and who you're supposed to be becoming. That's where the masculine is on the shadow, where the masculine is on the lighter side. That karmic is going to be observing, possibly. I don't know who that is, okay? But that has nothing to do with you, because in the context of this question, quite literally, the masculine initiates the marriage. So it just is what it is. When you leave the karmic alone, or when you stop settling for partners you feel safe with versus what you want and are afraid to go get, that's when you end up in the happy marriage as a masculine. There y'all go. Now, my dominant feminine audience, do not engage unless it is a sacred masculine. And the masculine that is on the lighter side, where I'm talking about the marriage, is absolutely a divine masculine. Like, it's a divine masculine. It's somebody that's doing everything that you would associate with the dream masculine. Okay? Anybody would want this masculine by nature of how this masculine moves in their career, the way they live their lives. Like, I'm not giving details or specifics because it's not relevant, but the lighter side ends up with a masculine that is an ideal masculine. okay? The shadow ends up with the masculine that somebody else just was like not settling for, or someone else set boundaries with in a way that they couldn't handle, and either however it ended is due to the fact that the karmic masculine on the table doesn't measure up, and is not open to be challenged in a way that they have to elevate, which is why the polar opposite is the north node ascended masculine. Okay, basically the karmic is you basically end up with something somebody else just didn't want or set enough boundaries with that it went away on its own. So how do you avoid this? Because your advice is very clearly how you avoid this. As you're receptive to love, okay? And this is both sides. The masculines, don't be pursuing something you know you don't want just because what you wanted rejected you, or whatever the context is. Be better so that what you want doesn't reject you. I'm serious. That maybe seem harsh, but I'm equally harsh on the other side, because the feminines look good, feel good, be great, but only entertain what you consider to be a divine masculine. We talk about the forbidden sweetness and the temptation of settling, the temptation of leaning into what's giving you all of the attention you want and making you feel valued, right? Because one thing that someone that is settling will do, especially when they do so early, is they're going to make you feel like you're the most amazing thing. And if your self-esteem is low enough, not saying, I'm not calling any of you names, I'm helping you maneuver things. You don't want to be easily impressed by somebody being nice to you and treating you like you're so great, especially if there's mention of someone else. Like I could see some of y'all dealing with somebody that's like down talking somebody else, like their ex, or you're so much better than my ex. Don't lean into that, because this is how you end up in these situations. Because that's why the table is so loud and why it's taken so long, is because I'm hearing like specific conversations and things like that would happen. Not like y'all private stuff, but there's a very cinematic flow to this pile, in that we have the karmic relationship that occurs here is two people with low self-esteem. The masculine that's afraid of the feminine they want, so going for a feminine they feel they can quote unquote handle, and a feminine that is taking, I guess, what they consider to be the best masculine they can get. I'm closing you out, moving along to pile number 3. All right, pile number 3, my blue Diamond Elegance pile. We're gonna see who will you marry, when and how you'll meet your future spouse, and all things like that. Some of you, it's gonna be the first one. Please don't bring that energy back. Piles 1 and 2 have been a journey. It's like we asked this question today, and it's like, oh, y'all want the truth? Because I don't know what's going on, but it's not been bad, but it's for the people that are on the shadow side, we got true, authentic journeys. So hopefully it's not a journey on this pile. So as a reminder though, you can check the intro. I do always let y'all know in advance how I read, just in case it comes through in a way where y'all are just looking for a cutesy reading. I would love to give cutesy readings all the time, but I am not a good liar when I'm channeling, because it requires too much effort. So house 2, yang. We got somebody that's really a hustler, a go-getter when it comes to money. They're very active when it comes to stability. Okay, so any of the fire signs, yeah, all 3 are there. So Aries is there, Gemini is there, Leo is there, Libra is there, Sagittarius is there, and Aquarius is there. Okay, and this is not like a rising sign or necessarily a sun sign. This is house 2 position. Okay, so that could be you, that could be this person, but the overall energy is just somebody that is, one of their main priorities is stability, assets, money. Okay, which is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. So let me see where we're going with this. Tell me more about the who, the when, and the how regarding my pile number 3's spouse. What do we got here? Okay. Nine of Pentacles. Someone that's really doing well as an individual. Very single. You will be... okay, so look, don't tell me this is going to be your shadow. You need to know now. Your future spouse will be single when you cross paths and start interacting with them on a romantic level. I can't promise that that it'll be like that the first time you meet them, because people live their lives. But at the point where this person pursues you and starts trying to stabilize and build a future with you, they will do so single. Won't be this weird overlap, the weird ambiguous labels y'all use. This person will be very clear, and I want us to be planning our futures together. Okay. Here we got the Seven of Swords. Some of you, this person's pursuit of you, and I don't know how to word this without it coming across as very out of character for the personality that you're going to marry, because it's not. This is someone that will have kind of, at the point where they're like, okay, I'm going to marry pile 3, they will have already started planning as an individual. They will have been sneakily doing different things. This is somebody that would buy a house with you in mind. This is someone that would start thinking about the house they want to buy with you in mind. Start thinking about investments and things with you in mind. Okay? Let me see. Tell me more. It's also someone that has a history of people getting over on them. Okay? Just so you know, this person does have trauma, which is why they're so active regarding their stability. They have trauma associated with stability. They literally have a history where people have stolen stuff from them. Okay? They have literal instances. This person will tell you at least one story where someone has stolen from them in a very manipulative way. Because the Seven of Swords is not simply a thief. It's a sneaky thief. It's a thief in the night, right? I didn't see it coming, right? I have the Queen of Wands here. And then I have the Seven of Pentacles. Ooh, this person's super active, especially those of you that are seeking a feminine spouse. This is a very fiery feminine. This is a very active, go-getter feminine that, as an individual, is very capable of their own harvest. Okay, so that came through very prominently. Where I'm describing you, this is what's going to draw your spouse to you. Okay? Your very independent nature, your possibly wounded nature, if I'm describing you, right? Where this person can tell people have gotten over on you and they're eager, itching, it's literally like an itch to scratch for them, where they're looking to chase, pursue, and show you a different way. That's if anything, it feels like what gets this going is your future spouse is just thrill seeking, the ability to change how you perceive people. It sounds manipulative, but that's not the intent. The intent is you can tell that pile 3 has had it a little rough. You can tell people have gotten over. Let me show them what love looks like almost. That's the vibe. So yeah, see, commitment is at the bottom of your reset. I love the change in pace of this pile. Thank you so much. I even got coffee, y'all, that I need to finish because I needed it after pile 2 because it was a lot. But look at this. Commitment, sweet and sticky. This is someone that's going to do a lot because their whole goal is it feels like a person that's you're too you're too independent. You're too self-identified in a way where they don't like that. So the goal is to create a safe space for you not to have to do that, which is why there's so much energy on the stability, because house 2 rules our security, right? So now this person's I need pile 3 feeling safe and stable. You'll know, I don't need to really describe this person that much in depth, because if I'm reading your personality type, this person's going to create the safest space you've ever had in your life, and that will be the door to how y'all end up married. Okay, so where are we going with this? And it feels especially where we're talking about Yeah, especially where we're talking about, we'll talk about this in a second. Um, the feminine being in that survival mode. We're talking about a masculine that's not used to feminines in that survival mode like that for whatever reason. However, life they live, the way they were raised, because the whole thing is the masculine in this coupling immediately feels safe with the feminine because of how competent, how capable, how fiery the feminine is. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised if the feminine had fire sign placements, because while the feminine is a person that has that thievery trauma, I wouldn't be surprised if the masculine does as well, even though I don't necessarily see it on the table, because of how the masculine here is responsive to the feminine. It's like so excited to be a giver and a sharer and to plant roots, because it's like it's operating the way I consider a person that has been taken advantage of to move. Like, it's a masculine that's like, oh no, I don't have to worry about this feminine trying to use me. Let me go ahead and make sure I keep this feminine around. We also have a very active, so here's the thing. Watch it, because this is a masculine that's going to settle into home very quickly with this feminine. I'm not saying y'all are going to have kids before marriage. I'm saying this pile has a higher probability of that happening. And that's because of how quickly this masculine is in pursuit. Okay? And how quickly this masculine is wanting to stabilize in a home. Like, this is definitely somebody that would say, hey, let's get a house together. Let's get an apartment together. Let's move in together. And they wouldn't mind just paying for it all up front. So like, finances wouldn't be a barrier. Like, this is somebody that's quickly trying to live like that prior to even being engaged. So I'm saying, like, it feels like children, for some of you, children will happen very quickly. It will happen before the marriage, where you don't take precautions and control with your destiny. Like, if you don't use your free will, babies, where it makes sense and it's realistic, okay? And that's not a judgment thing. That's a me letting you know, like, if that's not what you want first, do what you need to do so that doesn't happen first, right? Regardless, prior to the marriage, yeah, some of y'all prior to the marriage, this person's going to still be talking about kids. So like I said, know who you're dealing with when you start dealing with this person. This person wants kids, at least a child, and like, it seems like you're meeting them in the era where they really want a child, okay? And it's feeling like it's the masculine that's like that. So I'm putting y'all on game. I'm letting y'all know that's how it's going to happen, even if it happens after the actual marriage, very, very quickly. Like, this is somebody that knows this is what I'm trying to get. This is what I'm doing, okay? So, and I think part of the kink is that this person sees the qualities that they want in a maternal figure for their children in the feminine here, because this masculine, I don't want to say that I didn't want y'all to think that this masculine was acting out of character. It feels like this is this person's personality, but it's not something that they're like that with any and everyone. It's their natural love language, and they don't naturally fall in love easily. Okay? It's a very practical person, which is why take them seriously. Okay? Yeah, and look at that. We got a powerful woman. We have a very active, literal sense active masculine, and a powerful feminine hitting the table. Okay? And this powerful feminine is elevating, transcending in some way. Okay? So it feels like this is a feminine, and I'm describing a lot of y'all, it's mostly y'all here. This masculine sees you as like a huge prize, okay? Like, you're doing so good, you're looking so good, you're everything they want in a spouse. And that's why it's go, move, establish stability, establish the home life, establish the family, okay? But again, this is someone that's very available, very single, which is why they're able to move like that. Yeah. Because I even have gifts here. Their love language is acts of service, which makes sense because it feels like, with the goal of establishing stability and safety with you, the feminine, that's how they'll go. Like they're very expressive, they're very communicative, like they're very excited, they feel very lucky to stumble upon this kind of feminine. Like that's really it. Okay. Yeah, the feminine here is like a special gift to the masculine, and the feminine meets this masculine as they start reaching and ascending towards what would be considered to be their peak. Okay, I guess financially, since I don't even have career, it's actually literal financially. Okay, so let me see. This is a very easygoing pile. The energy is intense, but in a good way, right? I have a, and I don't see this card that often, but I have a ring. So a marriage will take place, either romantic or business. Like this person will be very excited, very quick to marry you. The end. I love that we got the ring in the marriage reading. So the ring is going to be nice, but the ring will come quickly in this connection. So you won't even have time to think about it. Like, you know how if y'all are planning to use this, like, let me see if this person I'm dating is who Onyx is talking about. You won't have time to let my reading resonate before this person starts moving around, because this is that pile with that, see? All the action, okay? Excitement 2 times. So I'm gonna put this down. I guess I have to take it up right because I don't know what I did, but good advice from a wise person. We have the owl. The owl may be a redirection. There was another pile that I didn't call it out in, but it was there. I have owls on the channel where it's not a random symbol for you, or even if it is, and it keeps surfacing, you can go there, whether in memberships or on the public side. There may be messages for you there, but someone's gonna tell this person straight up, like, yeah, you gotta marry pile 3. The end. And they're going to listen because they already kind of have it on their mind. They're just going to have the confirmation. Okay. I don't think you're going to have doubts about this person. You're not going to need this reading for this person, right? Karma is you will reap what you've sown with the haystack. Honestly, yes, karma is in the best way. All of the positive karma, right? Honestly, some of you, this connection is karmic justice towards someone else. But this partner will see you, and I feel like this partner will be for you as well. They're going to see you like a needle in a haystack, like very rare. Like, how do you end up with somebody like that, right? Like, perfect for me, like lines up perfectly. We're compatible. We have similar goals. Our goals align, all of the things, okay? That month hesitated, therefore we are not gonna let it come through. We needed to know. We needed to be clear. We needed to be sure. Be careful. Do not take risks. This person is not a risk. I'm going to leave it exactly where it fell because we have the claws. The owl may really be a thing, okay? Because like the claws, right? But this person is not a risk. Nothing about this person is going to feel risky in the way that they're interacting with you. Okay, we have the maturing energy of the bouquet, compliments from an admirer. So this is going to be a very, like when we talk about actual like wedding, it's nice. I don't have a full context. It doesn't feel super huge or anything like that, but it feels nice. The ring is very nice. The ring is very flashy. Actually, I'm glad I paused really quick because this is not the wedding I see. This is the engagement. Maybe it's in the mountains. Okay, maybe it's in some fields like the 7 of Pentacles, but there is a bouquet. Maybe there are birds. There might be fireworks. Okay, it might be like needle in the haystack, quite literally. The gifts and the ring is a big deal because obviously when we talk about engagements where it's a to-do of a proposal, usually the ring matters as well. I'm not saying that it needs to be super flashy, but it will be meaningful. Because the ring in and of itself is a gift, whether it's because it's expensive and nice or if it has some symbolic meaning for the couple, right? Like maybe it has a gem that's not like a traditional diamond, or maybe it like it's engraved in some way, or maybe it's a family heirloom, like something about it, it matters. but the proposal is actually really exciting. Okay. The proposal is actually one that people talk about. There we go. So, yes, it feels outdoor because we have the fireworks, we have the fields, and I have the forest. Okay. And mountains. Yeah. So let me okay, that's my last one. Stepping into a new experience. Sunrise. Okay, could be a beach. Like, I feel like the proposal here is one where it's very photogenic. Like, the pictures are very nice of the proposal, okay? Less so than the wedding. Maybe this is a couple that elopes or just goes to the courthouse because you can, because you're already living together. But the proposal, it's still a thing. It's a special moment. And maybe that's how some of y'all get out of having to do the wedding. I don't know. But new creative ideas, new ventures, and a fresh start. This person will be fresh, a fresh start. I feel like you and this person are going to meet new friends and things like that together, because you're going to meet this person in a whole new environment, like a new experience, new ventures. And I'm not saying it's not going to be something you're familiar with now. I'm saying there's an element of ascension and a harvest that implies being elevated in some way. Okay. So at a minimum, this is a couple that getting married is a new experience, and coming together like that, you start doing things that will financially enhance you both as a couple. Okay. All right. Let me see where we're going with this. The blue, you know what? Blue Diamond Elegance. That is the pile. And we're talking about that ring. So some of you might like, it might be like a blue gem, or like that blue, like blue diamond would be a theme. We got choices and a decision. And there's a decision to do something different that leads to this union. So I don't know if it's you or if it's this person, but the choice to do something different, to step into a new situation, a new experience, leads to this. Let me see what kind of choice, what kind of decision. Checkpoint, we got the letter C. It says it's time to check in with your partner to ensure you both have a common understanding on where this connection is going. I mentioned this being a couple that lives together for a little bit first, right? We talk about being vulnerable. So there's two sides of you in a split. The split happens for those of you that are coming from a different house. So the lighter side is, you'll know because of your comfort and how vulnerable you are with this person. You'll notice that they check in with you a lot. You'll check in with them a lot. You'll feel very confident with choices and decisions and checking in with one another and just being vulnerable about what certain things make you feel like. You'll know very early on that you're going to marry each other. And this is a couple that, while the proposal seems to be a to-do, the reason why it's able to be a to-do, even if it's a surprise, is that you're very comfortable with one another in a way where this person, like whoever proposes, isn't nervous that they're going to get rejected. They're more excited to see the reaction of the to-do. You see what I'm saying? And that's the most beautiful expression of the lighter side. Now, I hate that I have to bring in the shadow, but it exists and it splits. The shadow is split. The shadow is kind of, the shadow is not a split. Let me not make that a shadow. The shadow is a split, but the way I'm wording it makes it seem like both sides are a shadow. This side is a split and the shadow resides in it. Okay? Doesn't make you inherently the shadow. I'll tell you where you are in a more moderate way. Here, it's a comfortable coupling. It's not a shadow in any way. Okay? And I don't want y'all to feel like I'm trying to make y'all a shadow that y'all are not, because I worded it that way. But the shadow will understand why in a second. Some of you I don't know what age y'all are. I don't know y'all's personality types. Some of you like the reading, it's cutesy, but your true personality is very home-like, very quiet, very moderate. Like, you're not looking to do too much. Neither will your partner be. Like, y'all are cool. I know a couple like that. They don't go outside, don't know how they met. Okay? Have no idea how they met each other, but I love it for them. Like, the moderate level is y'all connect. Y'all immediately start living together and things like that. Y'all might have a kid or two before, or even if you don't, as soon after you get married, you have a kid or start trying. And the proposal, the wedding, none of it's a big to do because y'all are already living together. Y'all like to be low key. The whole let's get married thing is a let's get married thing. It's a conversation. Y'all checking in. Y'all very vulnerable about what y'all are looking to get from the marriage. And then boom, y'all do it. It's cool. It's one of the most peaceful energies I've ever seen. The only reason I'm putting it at a moderate category is because most of the people that come and get these readings, they want the exciting thing, right? They're very romantic and fantasy based. Like, they love the whole allure of things being loud. So they want the lover, passionate thing. That's not for everybody. So those of you that fallen in this, if this aligns with what you want, boom, y'all are in here. The shadow is a step below that, because what is moderate can masquerade as positive where it ends up being a shadow. So what happens is you have the incompatibility of someone wanting what I'm calling the straight up lighter side and someone wanting what is the more moderate side, and it clashing, right? And so someone ends up not getting the full proposal wedding experience they want, even though it doesn't matter because they're stable romantically, right? Stable, following the wedding, everything's cool. But you see that animosity, you see that resentment that could slip through that. I say that because I have another pile that is a karmic. I'm not sending you there because I don't want to like influence y'all's decisions. But if you are coming from, or if you end up in that other pile where there was a karmic energy, I could see that being this sidestep that is the shadow, where because it's a settling energy, y'all just, it's not a big deal to this person because they're settling, or not a big deal to you because you're settling. I'm leading with it being that person. That's why I'm cautioning everyone, because I don't think y'all are going to consciously settle in marriage. Y'all are choosing readings like y'all are looking forward to that. So I don't feel like y'all are going to just settle for somebody. I hope not. And I'm not saying there are not very real reasons to get married that are not like love and passion, because I actually think that emotions are very fleeting and you do not want to marry somebody just because you think you love them and you're super passionate about it. There's other things to consider. It's just that on the shadow, it's very dry. And the only reason why it can be alarming is because the things I'm seeing, you don't like ending up in that karmic situation where someone is settling in marriage. It takes the enjoyment out of like day to day, because think of it this way: you're making a life-changing decision and it's all black because that person's settling. I'm not talking about that moderate couple that they don't go outside. They don't go outside. They're both in alignment of not interested in outside. They're like, we married already. We in the house. Like we don't need to do all that. You know what I mean? Like, they're fine. That's actually the lighter side. It's just that it takes a certain personality type to enjoy that, which is why they're moderate. But they're lighter side in their world. But the shadow has to settle because the person is settling, right? So anyway, it's here. I left it alone. I'm going to pull this and close y'all out. So where are we going with this? What advice do you have for Blue Diamond Elegance, please? Yeah. Spark of Wonder. It says curiosity, manifestation, and magic. It says your joy is magnetic. When you approach life with awe, even the impossible begins to manifest. And you know what? This pile needs that advice. Yeah, held in love, intimacy, safety, and receiving. Love is a powerful container for expansion. When you feel held, your abundance feels safe to arrive. And this is how everyone finds their ideal spouse. The lighter side, and what I'm labeling as the moderate, which is lighter as well. You doing what makes you feel joy, whether it's being more inside, being real low key, going out and living a passionate life, wherever you fall, whatever brings you joy, you do that. You're going to find your ideal match. Where you don't do that, you're going to end up in a karmic situation. That's common sense. And the dominant energy of this pile is not even that karmic energy. It's just that some people slipped in. And if you find your way to the pile where it was dominantly karmic, then that's definitely why that slipped in here, because you came here too. Okay, I feel like that's really how it ended up, because the advice is to the spark of wonder, being excited, being curious, manifesting, going out and getting what you want in life, leaning into people that align with that, not settling in love, right? So you don't end up with someone that's also settling for you. You find someone genuinely interested in you, which is why the other two end up with even the proposals that they want. Like, we're talking about a couple that doesn't really want to go outside. They're in alignment on that. So everything they do is inside, and they are so happy, in such joy, at such peace. You got the one really exciting, really passionate couple that's like outside, extravagant proposal, really creative, probably made a video, took a bunch of pictures, really unique ring, all the things. Like, everybody over on that side kind of is in alignment with what they want. And it's a pile of their soul feeling with joy. It's just that speck of the shadow that slipped in where it's blah, because the connection is blah. There's not much tying them together other than settling and deciding to be together, right? Okay, so I'm going to close you out, moving along to pile number 4. All right, pile number 4, my Lush Royal Flourish. We're going to take a look at who will you marry, when and how you'll meet or connect deeper with your future spouse, okay? And there's already a theme on the table where it's like there's some timing issues, very loud timing issues of like misalignment with somebody's career or something like that. Like, there's a misalignment due to a career or regarding someone's career. And then I had the house 5 of like joy, pleasure, and like fun and stuff like that. And then I even had like the family cards and things like that. So I don't know if you will have historically met this person already, even if you don't know them very well. But it's like, at the point where y'all get married, upon reflecting, you'll be like, man, we probably could have got married like 5 years ago, really, if we really like locked in, or if we really paid attention to each other like that, or whatever it was, right? That's really what it is. So let me see. And this energy is coming through, but yeah, it's gone. Which is crazy because this is actually relevant. So at the bottom here, I had the Gemini card. And at the bottom here, I shuffled and put it back. But I had the Magician. So I had the Magician. I had the Gemini card. Uranus is currently in Gemini. So shout out to y'all that are stepping into that era. House 3 is ruled by the sign of Gemini. So I'll be honest with you. This is someone you're going to quickly, surprisingly meet within your local vicinity, like within your neighborhood, within your town, within your city. Like, it's somebody that you're not really going to expect to see in a space that you do, because it feels very local. House 3 rules those things like car rides, train rides, bikes, all of that. Okay. Y'all are very compatible mentally. I'll say that. Like, you're very like-minded. I wouldn't be surprised if this group actually knows this person already. Now, here's the kicker. You don't have to know this person already. I'm saying, like, it's not some random person. It's not some random stranger from across the world somewhere. It's somebody that's around you right now, close enough in proximity to you that technically you can meet them tomorrow. You probably met them yesterday. I wouldn't be, you see what I'm saying? Like, it's not this random person. I mean, it's gonna, let me rephrase this. It's gonna feel very random to you, but it's not an unfamiliar person. So let me see. Definitely come back and let me know. Stuff like that is hilarious to me, because what do you mean this person's around? Let's see. Tell me more for my pile number 4. Yeah, it's a spark waiting to happen. 2 of Wands. Yeah, it's a countdown. 2 of Wands, 1, Ace of Wands. There's a spark pending. This is a group where a spark with someone specific is pending. It's brewing now. My bad, y'all. I'm like shaking the table and have an Emperor. It's like, I don't know if it's the timing issues clearing, because all of this fire, because the Emperor is like Aries energy, it's like a clear path. It's like someone planning, inspire action, and like the Ace of Wands is the clear path to move on exactly what you're stimulated to move on. And you know the Emperor is going to do it. Like there's no hesitation with the Emperor. So the masculine here is in very clear pursuit. I don't know if they are like right now in this moment, because again, I don't know who I'm talking about in the context of like your life, but they're around enough. Okay, if anything, I wouldn't be surprised if crossing paths with you, or maybe crossing paths with you again, and like really inspired some type of masculine to like move, like they were thrown off or are thrown off, will be thrown off, because that's really everything that's on the table. So the one thing that's funny is I only have 2 like archetypes here, and the feminine is more balanced and centered. And yes, the energy of this card is balanced and centered, but the Emperor is not balanced and centered. That Emperor moves, they're very active, okay? So I just feel like that might be the energetic dynamic between the coupling, is a very energetic masculine and a more zen feminine. So like this would be, let's use activity to make it easier for me. This would be, in terms of fitness, this would be a cardio, running, moving around, very active masculine. This would be a feminine that does like yoga. They may do strength training, slower pace, Pilates, like things that keep you centered, right? So let me see. And the Page of Wands is just a very interesting couple, if I'm being honest with you. It's like fun, it's active. So this is someone that you'll know very early on, because they'll want to talk to you all the time. But not only talk to you, this is someone that's going to want to go out and do things all the time. So, and I think it's due to the fact that you are so close in proximity. Like I wouldn't be surprised if y'all end up like if this is genuinely the group where y'all live in the same neighborhood. Or even if you're not in the same neighborhood, you're in a city where you're like max 20 minutes away from one another, because y'all are like moving around a lot all the time. Like this is a pile where you can on a whim go out and do something. And that seems to be the context of like this person is excited, like, oh, I'm going to go out all the time with pile 4. Like we're going to go do this, we're going to do that. And like y'all are getting to know each other through experiences. Like y'all are outside. So my Lush Royal Flourish. Where are we going with this? Tell me more about who my pile 4 is going to marry. Tea, gossip, eavesdropping, and storytelling. A lot of conversations, a lot of storytelling, like so much talking. There's gossip about someone with a darker aesthetic or energy. Maybe there's gossip because it does say low vibration, unless I had another pile like that, and I've been getting that energy recurrently. I don't know if it's you with this person, but I'm going to lead with it being this person. There's a lot of conversations, a lot of opinions. That's probably what part of the shock is. The Uranus is the shock, possibly with people that know this person since childhood. People that's known this person since they were like in their formative years, or people that watched this person grow up or whatever. Like, oh, okay, look at them settling down, because didn't think they would actually do it just because of how they move. Like that's the gossip of like, maybe this person had a toxic era. Maybe this person like never seemed like they were going to get it together. And then boom, Here they are with you, right? Okay, so let me put that back because I've already got one pile that was mostly clean. So if you're called to multiple piles, go there, because this is not a new message today, which is why I'm comfortable putting it back. Let's see. We got, oh, okay, see, I can't. Look at me. They punish me for putting it back. Okay, so we got a rebound. We got an addiction. Well, you're going to end up with somebody that has a history of being like super rebellious, possibly. I hate that for you. No, I don't. It's fine. This person's fine. The Emperor has matured through a lot of different things. Okay, like the Emperor, you don't just become an emperor, right? Like it takes a lot to become that. And so I don't know this person's past. I don't know this person's history, but them being rebellious enough to be, I don't know that you can be an emperor without having some level of rebellion within you. Okay. I'll say that. But yeah, this person's got a history of like some third-party situations, possibly addiction or just bad habits that they need to stop. Again, being rebellious and not listening when being told what to do and things like that. We're gonna put it back though and see. Tell me more about this person's future spouse. My pile 4. Okay, that rebellious energy is, we're gonna keep it. Okay, we're gonna keep it. I have the sweet and sticky like honey. It does feel like the rebellion is more sensual, if I'm being honest, but I want to get a couple more. Alone, barriers, lost, holidays. So I am gonna do something I don't normally do, because I think I unsettled the table by trying to not make this too long. I never try to manipulate y'all's readings. Sometimes when shadows come through, it just takes way too long, and I'm trying to wrap this one up so I can do something else, because I am on a bit of a time limit. So I'm gonna go back to that deck to see if it can support what comes from this one, because I also have another deck to pull from. Yeah, there we go. We got tough conversations. Tea is a thing because we have toxic behaviors. So when this person stops doing that, that's when you'll cross paths. Honestly, the timing issues could be because this person was in that era. They weren't interested in settling down. Maybe you weren't interested in settling down. Even if you were, you definitely wouldn't have been interested in settling down with somebody like that, because that's not somebody you settle down with. So now we have somebody evolving into their emperor era, and the toxic behaviors are gone. And I feel like this is someone that will be up. Now they're gonna sugarcoat it. They're not gonna tell you all of it. It's here for a reason. Toxic behaviors is in reverse, not just because they're gonna stop it, but because they're only gonna skate the surface of like how they used to be, which their past is their past, and as long as it doesn't impact the future, I don't know that it matters. It depends on how you feel. But the tough conversations, this person is gonna be like, listen, I do have a reputation. I did have a reputation. I was kind of chaotic. I was doing some of these things. So I know you heard about it, or you're going to hear about it, especially since y'all move in like at least the same social circles. Y'all live in the same neighborhood. Like y'all live. The whole premise of this file is this person is around you as they're behaving this way. I wouldn't be surprised if this person's like living like that right now, and then in a year or two, when they're not anymore, y'all connect. Not saying it has to take that long, because some of you, maybe this is this person's past. You kind of already know somebody that's like that. Not saying it's them, but I'm saying when you connect, you're going to realize like, okay, yeah, this person was doing stuff, okay? Which is fine. I just don't have time to go through all of that for the sake of the reading right now. So let me pull, I'm going to pull the tea leaves next so I don't forget them. And then we'll go back to Melanin Pop. Yeah. You should accept valid criticism. In reverse, this person has a history of being really hard-headed. But in the era where you connect with them romantically, they will have a vine, right? Seeking out information that will help them. They will be less like that in the era where y'all connect deeply. And it does feel like that Ace of Wands is a huge spark of someone basically completely changing their life. Not saying you're getting somebody that lived a chaotic, hugely chaotic life and then you stuck with somebody with a lot of baggage. I don't feel like any of this person's history is things that would impact their future, which is why they're able to kind of turn it around. The worst of it may be like gossip locally or something like that, but this is not a person that has a lot of chaotic baggage due to their experiences, so much as people just didn't think they would stop being like that. I hope that makes sense. Okay, where are we going with this? Tell me more about my pile 4, please. You got flowers, and I picked it up in an incoming energy of happiness. Okay. The month of May. Ooh, I just did a reading where May was a thing, and I wrote notes so I can check. I'm not doing notes for this one. It's already taken too much of my time. Because I have other readings to do, and it's throwing me behind. But if you're coming from that group, especially those of you in memberships that have access to the notes, I definitely detailed it. If I'm not mistaken, it's probably pile 4. But don't take my word for it because I cannot see and I don't have time to pull it up. But opportunity or windfall is maturing as of May, whether incoming or recent past. Okay. I got a horseshoe of good luck and I picked it up in the incoming, which, okay. Some good luck coming in December will lead to something by May, or something that happened in May is going to lead to some good luck in December, okay? We got a long journey, either physical or mental, that will leave you wiser at the end. That is the elephant. I'm going to be honest with this group. The change in lifestyle for this emperor on the table started in May for some of you. You don't have to know what I'm talking about. I don't think that most of you do. The Uranus represents a shock of you not knowing what's going on. And I'm not saying that those of you that may know don't. I'm saying if you don't know, don't overreact to not knowing, because while this isn't a complete stranger, I don't know that you're going to marry somebody you already really know so much as it's someone you could have known, someone that's not that far removed from you, like somebody you know knows them. You see what I'm saying? That's the actual context. But this person may have started a journey in May, or they will start a journey in May that will lead to good luck by December for them. And that chain of events is what affects your life and you connecting deeply. Something about Mayflowers is a thing because I sent that other pile to it. And I remember this year in 2026, whether it had to be April, the April Secret Admirer reading, or I referenced the April Secret Admirer reading, okay? Because I talked about April showers bring May flowers, okay? And that's a theme here. Maybe these readings are connected, but because of how long these were, I don't have time to like see, if I'm being honest. So let me see if the good thing is you get an emperor. The feminine selecting this power, you get an emperor. Just keep in mind that emperors take time to build, to mold, to cultivate, okay, to mature. So you get one, I guess. It is what I would label a divine masculine. But just like the divine feminine has a journey to that, so does the divine masculine, right? No one just wakes up perfect. Okay. Let me see where we're going. I don't know. It feels like the decision making of this emperor, and I remember another reading like that. That would have been in the Who's Coming Towards You in Love series, or the Passion Place. Either one of those two, because the context of what I'm thinking of would have had to be one of those questions where I remember reading a masculine making decisions and changes in his life that would lead to the feminine selecting the pile, connecting deeper with him. Okay. And where that person just didn't measure up, then like obviously life happens, the universe shifts and people move on, but this feels like similar in nature to that energy. We have the manipulation of falling. Yeah. Something about May, past or incoming. November is where the ladder towards success really starts. We have some good luck incoming by December. We have a chain of events that will change your life. Things are shifting, okay? Things are shifting. And that's why this deck wouldn't talk, because it kept talking about what all this person was doing, because that's the context. So I'm not going to say we don't have the context of like what your marriage or anything like that. It's going to be like. None of that matters yet. What matters is that your intended future spouse right now is shifting and changing, and it looks like for the better, for the best, in a way that they become an emperor, right? But things are moving and they haven't settled enough yet. So I think you're going to have another pile. But when, right? Because we're celebrating, we have fireworks. Okay. Some of you, this person, because this is the right place, wrong time. Root, right? I feel like this is the right place, wrong time. It is, because of the third house. Some of you, this person may already be on your vicinity. Like, I mean, you might be in their vicinity, because like them kind of knowing what they want has them changing their life in a way where maybe it's because of sparks they felt. Some of you here, this makes so much sense. I love this pile along with the other one, the last two, because I was worried about the shadow stepping through, but it's not that there's a shadow here regarding your future. It's saying the spouse has a lot of things they're working through. It's not baggage that they will carry into a connection with you or a marriage with you, definitely not. But for some of you, this person crossed paths with you. It was surprising, it was shocking, and they took a liking to you and interest in you. And something about the way they live and move. I did mention a more active masculine and a more zen, kind of centered feminine. Something about the way you carry yourself. They knew it wasn't going to be a thing based on how you carry yourself. And so in them awakening and realizing, okay, I got to be an emperor. Like, this is like, I'm looking for a divine feminine. Like, I want to be divine masculine. Not saying those labels are something any of these people would use, but like, you know how when you realize you're not the best version of yourself, you're like, man, like, I know I want a partner like this. I'm looking at my checklist of the partner I want. Would that partner want me? That's the awakening the emperor here had on the table. Was like, even y'all take notes. Y'all writing these checklists and y'all talking about what y'all want in a partner. When y'all make these lists and things like that of like all y'all do's and don'ts in a partner, would that person want you? And it feels like the masculine here is kind of awakening of like, the feminine wouldn't want me. So now I got to make up myself a version that the feminine would want. Not because they're manipulating you or because they're trying to be something that they're not. The beauty of the emperor is the emperor no matter what state they're in. Because the emperor has to have that capacity to be one first before they can lean into it. There are many people, right? There are many masculines that will never be divine masculine. There are many feminines that will never be divine feminines because they don't have the capacity to become that. But this particular masculine does. They simply weren't being that. They weren't embodying their truth. And so that awakening, that firework, that spark seems to be shifting things. And that's why we have that chain of events that affects your life. Is like, I'm not saying all of you, this is the context, but it's general enough to where even if it wasn't directly you inspiring this energy, even if you are not this literal spark, there is some spark that happened possibly in May, since it's on the table very prominently with this masculine. For those of you that are feminine, that are leaning, that are seeking a masculine, the person might have organically felt a spark to start making changes that next time you see them, and I don't know that you know who I'm talking about, you will then probably, because they'll be very different energetically at least. Okay? And for my masculine selecting this pile, the narrative doesn't shift. Who will you marry? If you know I'm labeling you like there's someone that sparked something in you and you're making all of those changes, I'm not saying that person's still going to be around, but that archetype is in fact the type of spouse you'll have, because you know what you need to do to align with that, right? And that's how you end up with who you marry, regardless of the specific who, because it's there, okay? So let me see where we're going with this. Let me get a couple more. Yeah. The androgyny talks about the flexibility and adaptability. Okay. And then we do have community. We have community. So being adaptive, being flexible when it comes to your community. I'm going to see what this wants. So we got walking away from something or someone leads to your peak. Okay. And we have the you are my world, balance. Stop, like, leaving all of that alone is what leads to this connection. But it's for the most part in the masculine's hands. So I don't think the feminine selecting this pile matter, because the feminines feel energetically like the ones that want a traditional marriage, possibly a traditional courtship where there is a very active masculine in pursuit. So I feel like the feminine is not going to be mad at me because I'm saying it's in the masculine's hands, like some other groups would. If you get mad at me, this might not be your pile, or even if it is, pick something else. Start looking around at the other readings on the channel that call you. That way you can get a more thorough story, because this is a masculine in pursuit, whether they even realize they're in active pursuit of someone specific, right? Because maybe some of them don't even know what feminine they're in this transition for. But it's loud on the table where that one has them changing their life. And it's loud on the table where they either end up with you or an archetype like that. Okay. Okay. So what advice do I have for my Lush Royal Flourish pile? So I have Soundtrack of the Soul, and it says expression, vibration, and creativity. Love creates a frequency that money responds to. Let your creativity be a song of receiving. This is a group of lean into your creative expression, whatever it is you create, whatever it is you do, whatever you're skilled at, talented at, that brings you joy, especially where you have the opportunities to do so professionally or in a way that makes you money in any way. Lean into that, embody it, like do it at your fullest expression. That aligns you with the union of your marriage, is like being the fullest expression of your creative being. And I hate using the word creative because it throws off people that are non-creatives. I'm not saying you have to be super artistic. I'm saying there's something you're good at. There's something you're talented at. It doesn't have to be traditionally creative, but everything that functions is creation of some form, okay? So don't let the word usage throw you off. There's something you need to be consistently doing. It's going to be very alluring to this partner. This person is going to appreciate seeing you be successful. So this is a group. Yeah, that's the key. This person will enjoy seeing you thrive in your fullest expression. Whatever that means, that's going to call in your partner. That's going to connect you deeper with your partner. Because again, this is the group where the person lives somewhere around, close enough, car ride away. Okay, at this point in time, because the whole theme is you're shocked. You're either going to be shocked that you've been living this close to who you end up marrying this whole time, or like you're going to be shocked that you end up with somebody that's been around and just available to you. The whole theme is you don't need to go far and wide to find your partner. Like it's the most closely available of all of the piles. Okay, so I'm going to close you out. Thank you so much for supporting the channel.